I'm Ro,
And I'm Des.
and welcome to Crew Boosh. We're just
Welcome.
two noir princesses who love to talk about wine. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to discuss that. I literally, when I saw you pour it, I was like, oh my gosh, I want that so bad.
I cannot wait to tell you about it. But first
Oh
of
my
all,
gosh.
what's been going on? What's new in your world? What's
Oh,
exciting?
oh my gosh. It's like I just finished this like major certification. I'm super excited about it, which is kind of the
Congratulations.
reason why, yay, which is kind of the reason why we were kind of MIA. Not to mention there was also like a major snowstorm here
Yeah.
and icing, and I'm telling you, I learned so much stuff. I had no idea that Texas was not connected. Texas, I knew Texas I'm so angry I can't even talk.
I understand. I feel your pain.
I knew that Texas energy was deregulated, but I personally live like in the energy corridor. I live like a stone's throw from the Shell, Citgo, all of these places. And I was in my apartment. It was 15 degrees and I had no power and no water. So I'm so glad I have a boo, a friend. I went over there, so grateful that he did not lose power. They
Good.
lost water, but didn't lose power like continuously. It was supposed to be rolling, but they wasn't nothing rolling. Um, but yeah, so it was very interesting. I've never felt like that helpless before.
Hmm.
This is the first time I've been in a situation like this in an apartment complex because
Yeah.
in the house at my house, I would have had some heat pumping and some other stuff going on because I would have had gas and I'd have made it work. I mean, that's one thing about living in the hood or growing up in the hood. There are ways how to make it work. And I'm not saying that I grew up with no terrible type of you know um childhood, but at the same time too, I learned how to make it work because my parents knew
Yeah.
how to make it work. So, but yeah, that was it. So it was crazy,
That's
and
a
I got
lot.
that. I
It's a
mean,
lot.
it's a lot, but and literally that whole thing was froze over, and then I had to like virtually take this exam on Sunday, and it was no Monday. I think I took it on Sunday. I don't know, and that's how bad the days were. And I mean, it was like
I think
four
it was that
hours.
holiday, that the 3-day weekend.
Oh my gosh. I'm like I'm like, I'm gonna die. Kill me now. Like halfway through. I'm like, I got 80 more of these questions. Like,
Oh, but
but
you
I'm
did it.
grateful.
You
Yes,
did
I
it.
did. I did it. And I was like this, like when when it was time to see the results. And I'm like, ah! So
I'm
yeah.
so glad that you got your results right away because
Oh,
the
I would die.
waiting game for the results is just for those who have to wait, it's no joke. Like I would much rather have the results right then and there.
So tell me what's going on in your world. What's happening?
What's going on in my world?
Sing it.
Um, I am just enveloped in envelope. I don't even know. I don't know. I come on here and then I suddenly don't know how to say words, which is really silly. But
Like, be like, so what's going on?
I have been like just fully involved in like work and wine, and I went to this amazing like wine. I not went virtually attended this amazing like wine summit last week, which sort of like in the midst of school and work, just being so busy, I'm kind of like, wait, why am I doing this again? Like, what am I trying to do? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just I want this career. I want this career in wine, but like it's intense going to like wine school on top of work. And so I think it's been going to that summit was like a renewal, seeing like all these like winemakers, like who are people of color, like really kind of like put me back on solid ground. I'm like, this is why I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing this. This is who I am trying to become. So yeah, I'm glad that I had that moment of clarity of like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I read about that today when I was like just reading around. I was like, man, I missed the whole thing. But I was like, hey, I wouldn't have caught it anyway.
It was, I'm mad at myself because I didn't get to a lot of the events on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe they were recorded, so I'm still gonna try to make them. But like all the events that I did see were absolutely amazing. Learned so much about like so many winemakers of color that I didn't know and
know about.
Yeah, not even like winemakers, just like women that have shops and like just different wine businesses and consulting and just all around amazing. Just really, really amazing. So
that's awesomeness.
amazing and
Awesomeness. Yeah. Well, ask me the question.
What are you drinking?
So since it is, still, I need to do this appropriately, let me.
What's appropriately?
Take a look. I'm not left-handed, so,
Oh, because you're also showing off the label as you pour. I like it. I like it.
And I poured very heavy, but it's Friday.
Yes, absolutely.
But so I am at it again from Longevity Wines 2019, but I went white. I think part of we're talking all this whole stuff about how crazy the weather is here. So I did like a little Instagram post. So 2 weeks ago, so was it Valentine's Day weekend? It was 15 degrees. Some places it was 9 degrees. And the following week, so last Monday, it was 80 degrees. So in the matter of 7 days, we warmed up 72 degrees.
It's crazy.
Or 68, depending upon where you were and how cold it was. But it just was nuts. But in any case, I wanted to go white because today was also like another 75-degree day. So, we're moving on into the good whites here in Houston, Texas. It is a Chardonnay. It is beautiful, like straw color. You can see, I put this thing in the freezer to get the good goods, right? So, it is, let's see, because I tasted it a little bit. You guys know I'm on my second glass. I can do that because it's Friday. So it is 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And Chardonnay, and it's from the Livermore AVA.
Yes.
And price is about $16 a bottle. I got it at Total Wine. And they actually had a pretty decent selection for African American, winemakers, vendors. Because I walked in and I was like, yeah, I'm buying everything Black. This is Black History Month. And they did have the rosé for the sisters. They had that a whole spread, a whole section. But I did have to search for this because I wanted something a little bit different, and I'm glad I went a little different because you had picked them. So, but 13.5% alcohol. Didn't forget that.
Very nice.
Yes, ma'am. So I would say when I did my first initial, you all see all of my. This is my book that I got as a gift.
I love it. I love that you're using it. It makes me so happy.
And it's so perfect. It allows me to be a better taster. But it's medium body. And it's a medium sweetness, not sweet at all, but not dry. Definitely not dry as Chardonnay. The finish is actually very long on this. And you just feel it all over. But it's a very long finish. The smell, even though I've already smelled it, I'm gonna smell it again for you guys.
Oh yes, tell me. Chardonnay is one of my favorite wines to smell.
So this one, so I have pear.
Yum.
I have pineapple.
Yum.
So it's very tropical fruit smelling to me. So I absolutely love that. Very tropical fruit smelling. The taste of it is pretty much clean, bright, citrusy, and I still kind of taste the, of course, toasted oak. Toasted oak.
Okay.
But it's buttery, but not super duper buttery. So I don't know if this would be one of your faves, but but it's very good.
I mean, pineapple and butter, I'm sold.
Yeah, and it's very tropical smelling, very crisp, very bright. This would be perfect on any warm day, or great with fish. It would be great with a pasta, creamy pasta kind of sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to talk about the label. I kind of breezed past it. I told you guys that I liked it. I kind of breezed past it last week, but also he does have the same signature little twist cap cork that you can just twist off.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, he has the really good twist cap cork.
Love it. Twist off.
And I love it because it's perfect. Like you can just pop it in and keep it going. But of course, so he's in the Livermore Wine Valley. He is a Black man.
Yes.
Yes, he is. And 2018, he got Winery of the Year for Livermore Valley. He was awarded that. He traditionally produces about 3,000 cases. He's trying to ramp up to 5,000, but he's producing about 3,000 cases. Interesting story, because I always look when I'm like, you're a Black person in wine. How did you get there? Like, what made you just all of a sudden want to do that? But he grew up in Inglewood. So he's from Inglewood, but this man became exactly. He became an architect. So that's good money, you know?
Yeah.
So he became an architect. And then he and his wife moved out to where they are now. And they just bought like kind of like a pot of wine. You know, they had gone to a bunch of different tasting rooms and all of that kind of stuff. And well, his name is Phil Long. I'm sorry, I didn't say his name. That's the name, Longevity Wines. But they moved out there and just kind of started up their business, you know, and they were like, oh, we love wine. So of course, like one of the 1% of African American, you know, wine growers, you know, or you know, wineries that are operating right now. But he's also like, their wines have been featured in like Big Little Lies. I'm like, he's just kind of been all on it, just like on and popping, but pretty much it's a very popular wine, and I'm going to mess up some of these names, but it was one that I was like, oh my gosh, Desiree is going to have to tell me about this. But it's so funny because
I'm so excited to hear what you say, because I'm actually picking up some wines from there tomorrow, and there's one that I'm like, I don't even know how to say it.
Okay. So he promises. So if you go to the tasting room, he promises that he will always have Cab Sauv, a Merlot, and then a Du Brevet or Du Brevet. It's spelled Dubruvee. So that's what that is. Okay. But it's a Rhone style blend of Syrah. So it's 36% Syrah, 40% Grenache. It is 17% Mourvedre or Mourvedre, right? Yes. And then 7% Petit Syrah. So that's the blend. So I guess some places they call it GSM blend, but they take more on because they have French grapes there. They have a Rhone style blend. And the heart, I keep going back to that because it like broke my heart when I heard the whole story. It's such a
beautiful story. Yes, tell it.
Okay. So his wife a couple of years ago died from pancreatic cancer. And I mean, they had like started with this business from nothing, you know, and they moved out there with this belief. But this wine, the hearts, and he also has a sleeve like tattooed on his arm of these different hearts. And this heart is signature of all of the hearts that he would give to her like every year. So he wanted to incorporate that into his logo and to make sure that she knew, and even when he went in to get the tattoo of his sleeve with all the hearts on it, that she knew that she would continue with the business, you know, even as she was departing this earth. So yeah, I mean, just an amazing thing. Watch the little video because they actually did a story on him on the 17th. I missed it, but I mean, I think it probably played out there where you are.
Okay.
See, I think it was CSNBC, but they were talking about Black winemakers, but he had like a crazy bump, of course, after George Floyd. He was like, we were not even prepared for like the amount of wine that they were selling because it was really a thing. And what I really do appreciate is many of our white allies who see, this is how I can support. If I can't support any other way, if I'm not going to be the person, you know, marching doing BLM, then I can at least use the most important thing, which is my freaking wallet to help support the Black community. And and he said they showed out like in a big way. He said this year, the first 6 weeks of this year, he has sold more wine than all of the wine he sold the entirety of 2020.
Wow, that's amazing.
The first 6 weeks. And he's like, and he also, his Pinot Blanc got 90 points from Wine Enthusiasts. So Yeah, so
Got a little
that's
wine
what I
for it.
got on. That's what I got on Feel Long. I mean, if
That's
you guys get it,
amazing.
like this is a I am really, really liking this. This will definitely be in my rotation. When you guys come to my house, you will have it. It's fresh, it's crisp, goes with a bunch of stuff. It's not nearly as heavy as many of the shards that we drink. It's good. It's very crisp. I'm loving it. So
That's
that's what I'm
awesome.
drinking.
That's so great. And
So
then
just like
just
add some
one
more.
more little fact about Phil Long. He's actually the president of the Association of African American Vintners.
I didn't
Uh,
know that. See,
yeah,
look
he's
at
I joined the association I think last December, so
that.
relatively
Mhm.
new, but yeah, it's exciting to I'm excited to see that he's like leading that organization. That's really cool.
I mean, just like even watching, because I watched a couple of his interviews, and because you go from one to the next to the next, excuse me, to
Hmm.
the next, and it just just an amazing story, just that kind of stuff, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, you guys pick it up; it's very good. And I would tell you, I didn't start drinking Chardonnay until 2020. Like I would have it here and there.
Wait,
Um,
what?
I
Like,
really wasn't a Chardonnay drinker. Like I didn't buy it for myself.
oh,
I
oh.
had it with us. Like with us, we would
I
have
was
it.
gonna say I did not know this about you.
Yeah, we would have it, but I'm definitely a Sauvignon Blanc or any that was generally like what I would choose. Like if I
Okay,
drank a white, it would be that. But other than that, it would be
makes sense.
like Syrah or Red Blend, something like that. So, but yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
really a Chardonnay girl because I hadn't found one that I really liked. This one, um, I think this has been aged. Well, they have it's a really fancy blend. It's another GSM blend that they have that's like 30,
Hmm.
it's a 30-month aging process in some French oak barrels. But yeah, he's got great
Nice.
quality stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't want to hog the conversations, but it's a beautiful color
It is a
and
beautiful color.
it is very, very beautiful. And yeah, pick it up. It is Longevity Wines.
Yes.
I talked about the Cab Sauv last week, so if anybody wants, not Cab Sauv, I talked about the
I
no,
thought it was the Cab Sauv.
was it Cabernet Sauvignon?
I think so.
Was it red? It was red, right?
Yeah, it was definitely red. I'm almost positive it was the Cab because I remember we had this discussion with Marcel whether it was how'd you call it, full mouth or half
Yes, he was
mouth?
like, it's the whole mouth. Is it
Yeah, the
just half
whole
the
mouth
mouth? It's the
experience.
whole mouth. Okay,
So I do remember
okay.
that. And I'm
Yeah,
almost
the
positive it
white
was the
that I
Cab Sauv.
generally drink is Sauvignon Blanc. And then
Yeah,
I
okay.
did have a Cab Sauv last week. So yeah.
Oh, cool. That's so exciting.
So Desiree, I'm so excited because when you started pouring it, I was like, what is that? I can't wait to hear about it. Tell me, Desiree, what you drinking?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so super excited. I'm also continuing along with the black winemakers. So I am drinking, sorry, I had to like swallow a little burp there. That almost came out. That would have been bad. Let me show off this bottle because it is super sexy. I am drinking a Sashay Rose. And this is by winemaker Frichette. Obsessed with this label, obsessed with, how we had this conversation about like wine corks and how I told you like I
Mm-hmm.
don't save them just because it just like takes up so much space, but I think this may be actually the first one I do save just because like I'm obsessed with this
Sachet.
sachet. And
Wow.
then there's a little heart, like I'm very simple to like
Mm-hmm.
please and
Mm-hmm.
entertain. So, but I'm
Right.
just like, this is going to be the first one in my collection and definitely holding on to this bottle.
Oh, can you describe the label?
Oh, absolutely. So, all right. So it's this very like majestic, powerful looking woman. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that you can see it. Should I
Mm-hmm.
back up? Should I put this more forward? She's wearing this beautiful outfit. So I will say it's kind of like a little bit of a story about how I found out about this. But yesterday I was on this book club book club that drinks wine and talks about the book.
Mm-hmm.
So the winemaker was actually also on that call because we were drinking her wine to go along with the book. And someone was like, they're getting like Beyonce vibes. And I'm just like, now like this is all I get looking at this. But just a little bit about the winemaker. So as I mentioned, her name is Shay Frichette. And I came across her because of this book club. But it was actually interesting because she was one of the winemakers that was part of this summit that I went to last week, the International Winemaker Summit. And so it was so, because I did buy the wines for the book club, but then also last week I was like, oh, I'm supporting like, all the Black winemakers. So I was just like buying, like I went a little crazy last week and I bought a lot of wine from Black winemakers. And I was like, supporting my bank account is dwindling, but I'm supporting that. So yeah, and I got, like, when I got my box, I'm like blown away because there's like little notes inside my box. Like, this box was packed with a smile by Kathy, and then it was like, yay wine. Like, I'm just so blown. There's like a little note from the winemaker, and I'm just like, that personal touch is like, you're about to get all my money, because like I love that. Where was I going with this? Hold on. Go back. I get too carried away.
She was on the book club.
Yes. So anyways, I saw her again yesterday in the book, not realizing that the winemaker was actually going to be there. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she actually called me up. She's like, hey, I know you. Hey, Desiree. I was like, oh my gosh. But then I also felt a little stalkerish because I was like, oh gosh, I don't think
You're like, why does she know me?
Like, it's just so interesting that like in a span of a week, it was like, I've just become so like engrossed in this winemaker story. But with that, let me just tell you a little bit about, they're located in Washington. Their winery is at the, hold on, I have notes so I don't get off track.
Do your thing.
So Shay and her husband started their winery on Red Mountain, which is in Washington. And they started making the Bordeaux varietal wines. And the story behind Sachet, because their wines it's the Frichette winery, but this is her label, which is Sachet. And the story behind that is she went to this conference of like Black women in wine, which is so amazing. I have to look that up because someday I'm going to be a part of that. I'm claiming that. But anyway, so she went to this and she decided to create her own label. And so that's how we came up with, or she came up with
Speak it. You know me, I'm all about like product presentation, labels, logistics, me.
Oh, wait until you see this one for the Syrah, because it's just as beautiful.
Oh, that's majestic. It's like a woman in a tire, like full from the head to the feet, like cloak kind of deal. That's gorgeous.
And actually, whoops, sorry. I actually do have, the label art is by an artist named Chance Watt. So yeah, he's the person that worked on the labels. But so anyways, about this wine, really, really, really good. So this is a rosé made from Merlot grapes. This is a
Merlot
2020, so very young. Let's see, it's got flavors of, where are my notes on the wine? You can see like I'm already more than halfway done with the wine.
It's such a beautiful color. Like, it really is a beautiful color. When you poured it, I was like, what is that?
Yes. And actually, let me pour myself a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more for us. Just do it for us.
So you can see how beautiful that color is.
That is gorgeous. I don't think I've ever had rosé from Merlot grapes. I don't think I've ever had them.
It's really delicious. Like, this is I know we're not even in spring yet, but this is going to be a good all year round, like rosé all day, every season.
We're in spring. It was 80 degrees. It was like 75 degrees today. I'm already on rosé all day.
It's been warmish here, but I think today's high was like 61, which is it's nothing to write home about. But where's my notes? Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's a medium-bodied rosé. It's got notes of strawberry, watermelon, and tangerine, so that nice citrus aspect. It's off dry, and it's got a nice, like, good finish, fruity finish. It's really good. It's going to be good with seafood. Last night I paired this with spicy Chinese food. And tonight, I probably won't have any left by the time I get to dinner, but I was going to pair it with spaghetti.
I don't know.
I might have to move on to this.
You might want to go head on.
Because
You might want to, yeah,
the
I don't
way
think
I'm
that's
drinking
gonna work.
strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's
also
beautiful
just
though.
want to share. Okay, so this is probably the best part because on the back label,
Mm-hmm.
it says, "You are strong, you are courageous, you are fierce. You have the ability to create positive change in this world. So lift your chin, push your shoulders back, and sashay, girl, sashay."
Let me straighten my shirt out. Because I mean, I've gotten like empowered from this.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I would love. Oh my gosh, I would love to speak with her, talk to her.
Yes.
Awesomeness. We're gonna claim that.
I need to, yes.
He knows your name, so I mean, if she was recognizing you, it's like, yeah. Hey,
I'm full on stalking. But yeah, oh my gosh.
Alcohol percentage.
Oh yes, 13.2 I want to say, but let me double check. Yes, 13.2. I'm surprised that I can remember that. I can't remember how to say enveloped, but I can remember the alcohol content.
Yeah, enveloped. And how much is the other, what's the alcohol percentage of the other one?
Ooh, I'm betting it's going to be a lot more. Oh, actually, it's only 13.5 on this one. I thought it was going to be a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I'm excited.
So yeah, I think that's everything about Sashay Rose. Sorry, I know it's kind of all over the place with that. I'm so excited that I can't even like properly get all the information out. This is how excited I am about this wine and the winemaker.
I think one thing that, I hope even like some of, as we continue to grow and people continue to listen and check in with us, or even if they go back and that they, that they hear like pretty much like from our hearts, you know what I mean? Like we're two like Black women who absolutely love wine. And we have these stories, we now orbit around each other, right? But there's so many stories that, like just the amazing story of her, Frichette, you know what I mean, Miss Frichette, darling, and and even the story of Phil Long, and it's one of those things where I think a lot of like African Americans, a lot of Black people are just real in many ways looking for the opportunity, and I think, well, I wrote down that there's less than 1% of winemakers right now are Black, and they really are trying to increase that number. I was looking at just all these different things that they had online, and I was like, do I need to change careers? I mean, I just got the certification. I'm like, I'm gonna do it all, but I think it's something too that the same story with Phil in terms of how much wine he sold this year versus other places. That, of course, if you are an ally of African Americans, your wallet, your pocketbook is the biggest support. Like it is with, of course, voicing and vocalizing and sending emails and all that kind of stuff. But if you can support a small Black business, if you can support a business that money, that cash inflow, from speaking from a business professional, that cash influx is huge, and it allows you to dream bigger and do bigger. So I don't know. This has just been an amazing month, but I'm guessing the month isn't going to stop, because I think you need to talk about that wine next week.
Yes. So I will definitely continue that, but I also we both wanted to touch more on
oh, you got notes. I forgot.
Or dive into just Black winemakers for Black History Month, and
feed my inner nerd.
In a way, like I know I'm trying to I'm calm down and get the words out, Desiree. So like I'm impressed that there is much more information out there about people of color making wine than a year ago I thought there would be. Like a year ago when I started this journey getting into like my wine education, it just seems like every day I'm finding about another person that's either like a wine consultant or that's opening up a wine shop, or just a Black person, a Black woman like in this industry. And I'm so impressed, and I would definitely like to, even though Black History Month is coming to an end, I think that we should definitely continue to like, you know, showcase like all these very impressive people throughout the year, because what they're doing is amazing, and they're really like trying to, you know, make the wine industry more diverse. And I appreciate that, because yeah,
I think you should definitely lead the charge, lead us in that journey, because I didn't realize until I'm a rabbit hole goer downer. I went down the rabbit hole and I looked up and I was like, oh, time to time to talk. But yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, Black history is every day, right?
every day, yeah. And on that note, like in regards to Phil Long and the business that he experienced, about like having so many people reach out to him because people were trying to support Black winemakers. I also remember reading, I believe it was the McBride sisters, like experiences the same thing. So that's really great. But I hope that we can keep this going and that people continue to support like these Black businesses and Black winemakers.
I think with what he said, and that's why I really wanted to bring that up. I think that, and when I said about like Black people getting a chance, you know what I mean? Because oftentimes we don't necessarily have the big budgets. We don't have the big, we don't necessarily have the huge brand recognition unless we can get like a rapper or an actor or somebody to throw our stuff in. And I mean, that's huge. I mean, like Big Little Lies, that was a major, major. And I mean, like, that's huge. I don't know how he got in there, but whoever put him in there, it put him on. But I mean, he produces a great product, which is absolutely, I'm down that much again, so I'm going to stop talking soon. But it for him to be able to sell like that many in 6 weeks, and his goal, when I looked at their website, when it was updated, he said he wanted to sell 3,000 to 5,000 cases. And I mean, if he's already sold more than he sold last year, that kind of thing, it's like, he's well on his way. And I think that as more space is created through financial cash, through, monetary influx, through floating businesses and giving them the ideas and giving them the money to compete in markets and do the boutique winery, that kind of thing, that I think that that exposure would definitely be helpful. I mean, because I am enjoying this. Like, I will go back to Total Wine tomorrow and buy another one. And that's not even me just hyping it, because I'm not really a hype person. I don't really have that in me, but this is very good and I'm enjoying it.
Good. Yeah, I'm very excited to his winery is only about a 30-minute drive from me, so I'm excited to drive down there and pick up the wines. And sorry, Rose, I'm sorry that I live in California close to all these wineries. I can't with that face. Don't give me that face. Just okay, I won't talk about it. Anyways, but
when Phil is there, make sure you let Phil know that Robret says hello and that she absolutely loves his wine.
For sure. And
I'll be a little bit of his stalker. Like, you can definitely stalk Shay, but I will stalk him.
I feel like there's something else I wanted to say, but I don't know now. I forget.
Did you have any more like Black history facts? Black history facts?
I have so many, but it was hard to like narrow down one. Okay, but I will just do one shout out.
Do one.
So this is for, I'm gonna hold my glass a little bit closer. This is for Black Vines. And they sent this to us. I've only been a member for a short time, so I feel a little guilty, but they are celebrating their 10th year. The founder is Fern Stroud, who I have been lucky enough to meet. She was one of the first people I met in Oakland.
Take a look, write it down. Black Vines.
Black Vines. And they used to have, of course, pre-COVID, they used to have these like Wine Wednesday events where she is really focused on like building the community. So there would be like a Black chef like on site, and wines featured from like this is how I learned about like all these like Black winemakers. So just really excited to like help them celebrate this weekend. They're doing like a virtual celebration, so I'm really excited to celebrate with them. But shout out to Fern Stroud, because she really opened my eyes to like just how many Black winemakers are out there. And it's awesome that she's local and she's like building up the community and like doing all these great things and exposing people to like the knowledge of like wine. So yeah, very excited. There's so many and so hard to like narrow down, but that's going forward. We're definitely gonna like at least
What
once
we
a
should
month
do,
cover somebody.
like every week, we should kind of like chit chat about wine.
I like that.
I think it's
like
great.
that.
You know, I think it's fun. I mean, like I have ton. I'm like looking at my bar like, I'm like, Robert, you can't buy any more anything, okay? You're good. You can't buy any more. And I know I don't have nearly as much wine as you do because your wine is also part of your study, but I'm a sucker for labels. I'm a sucker for, oh, I don't have that. Oh, I need to try that. But like I'm requesting a bottle of the Du Brevet. I'm requesting
I'm gonna learn how to say that tomorrow.
Oh, since you're going, okay, I'll have one of those. And then there's also another one. I would like a Pinot Blanc. Thanks.
Pinot Blanc. I don't think that's on my list, but I will.
I'm not concerned about that being on your list. I've added it to. It's on mine. Okay. So
good. That was so selfish. I don't think it's on my list.
You said you don't think it's on your list. You know, it's fine. I didn't really ask you about your list.
You sure did it.
I never asked. I was like, hey, Des, what's on your list? I didn't say that. I specifically said that I would like that one.
You sure did.
That is the Rhone style blend, Syrah, Grenache, Petit Syrah, and Mourvedre. So yeah.
Just insert myself into other people's like wine buying business. This is what I do.
Do your thing, boo. Make it happen.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. I think this has been great though. Happy Black History Month. I think you'll see us again. I mean, it's going to be kind of blackety black, you know.
Yes. I mean, we're two Black women, so yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
I mean, we do what we do.
We do what we do.
We do. So,
all right.
Thank you guys for watching. Please leave comments, ask questions. We're gonna set up some links and all that good stuff. And please let us know how much you love our new logo. And
oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
We're like so official now. Like, guys, get in with us now. Like, we're so official. But yeah.
Guys, so we're taking off.
We really are. We are. I mean, you're.
I know that sounds very cocky, but I'm claiming it and I'm like going with it.
Well, you know, I'm never going to be anyone that's going to say anything contrary to that because we are the bomb. So, thank you guys for joining us. See you next week.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. By the time you watch this, it's probably Sunday. So, anyways, okay, I'm done talking. Bye.